Woman from Georgia, Ms. Williams, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Ranking Member Muser, and, well, thank you, Chairman Muser and Ranking Member Green. I'm giving you an upgrade over here, Mr. Green. And thank you to our witnesses for joining us today. In 2023, the HUD Office of the Inspector General conducted an investigation into HUD's oversight of the physical conditions at public housing authority complexes. Disturbingly, the OIG found that HUD field offices were inconsistent in overseeing whether public housing authorities corrected life-threatening deficiencies identified during inspections, and that HUD didn't even track public housing authorities' corrections of non-life-threatening safety deficiencies. This is problematic. I'm deeply concerned about these findings, especially given that the Trump administration has significantly slashed HUD staffing this year alone. At the beginning of the year, or last year, Elon Musk proposed a 50% reduction in staff who administer public housing vouchers and oversight. If HUD already lacked the capacity to provide adequate oversight of public housing authorities in 2023, how can HUD possibly be doing more now with even less? Mr. Oberdorfer, can you please describe any trends that you've observed in HUD oversight since this 2023 report? And have there been any changes in the rate, frequency, or findings of HUD inspections of public housing authorities?
Yes, thank you for that question, Congresswoman. As you mentioned, staffing is a huge component of this for HUD, especially as agencies have their inspections completed and that information gets to the department. There needs to be quick turnaround between the agency and Housing and Urban Development, especially if there are issues related to the life and safety of a resident. 2023 is an interesting year for public housing inspections because that's the year a new protocol went into place. This is the INSPIRE, or National Standards for the Physical Inspection of Real Estate. And this was an effort that HUD had been working on for some time to try to make inspections less subjective and more objective, to identify real risks and issues, and specifically risks and issues that would occur in units. So what we're seeing right now in terms of trends with inspections is there are a lot more inspection findings that are rated at a 59, which essentially means failing, but failing because of the unit. Now, I think you can look at that two ways. One, the most important is that obviously we need to make sure those units get updated and fixed so that they are safe for the residents. But two, it also means this new inspection protocol is doing, I think, good work in terms of oversight for the quality of the units and the safety of the residents. Because in other cases, that unit and that property may have passed. But now with these shifts in how HUD is actually looking at their calculations for inspection scores, these would trigger that failure, which would mean the agency would need to act right away to fix those concerns.
Thank you. And Mr. Oberdorfer, during the Financial Services Committee's oversight hearing with Secretary Turner just last week, I took the opportunity to press the Secretary about some of the dire living conditions that some of my constituents in Atlanta are facing in public housing. One particular egregious story unfolded at Forest Cove. It is an apartment complex in Atlanta, and it made headlines in 2022 because residents were forced to live in some of these unsafe conditions. They faced holes in their walls and floors, unrepaired fire damage, pests, rats, rodents, before the apartments were ultimately condemned and eventually torn down. After the building was condemned, HUD issued an official debarment order to Millennia CEO and Millennia Housing, prohibited them from participating in any new business with HUD, its Office of Multifamily Housing Programs, and with any federal government agency or federal programs for 5 years. However, it does not affect Millennia's existing properties or contracts with HUD, or the ability of Millennia to contract with HUD after the 5-year prohibition expires. Mr. Ozdenik, can you please describe the role of HUD in disbarring bad actors in the field, and describe the role of disbarment in restoring residents' trust in HUD and their local public housing authority?
Thank you very much for that question. I'm not familiar with the incident that and the debarment that you mentioned in your example. What I can say is that HUD serves as a partner and does oversight to the extent that it has resources to do so. The other opportunities that are available to the department is the Office of the Inspector General. It is their calling to ferret out fraud and follow it through to a logical conclusion. Now, I don't know again, in your example, you know, where the responsibility lies there. But clearly, the department took steps and debarred the vendor that you mentioned.
Thank you, and I am grateful for this conversation today because our people back home in every district across the country deserve safe, desirable living conditions.
Agreed. Gentlewoman yields back. The gentlewoman from Missouri, Mrs. Wagner, the chair